Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Ivan, and today with my group mates, I'll be having a forum which is called Application of Food Chemistry to Solve the Problem of Food Waste. So I would like to introduce the problem of food waste a little bit. Uh, Food waste problem uh, is correlated to another global issue, which is food security, where 345 million people are starving daily. However, in certain countries, there are so many food until that they are wasting food every day. Thus, food waste occurs in every stage of food production, from harvesting to selling at the stores and unto consumers. Thus, it is not only consumers' responsibility in solving food waste, and as food chemists, we can also do our part to resolve it. So I would like to open this forum by asking Yiizamy the question: how do we apply food chemistry to solve food waste?
Okay, thank you, Ivan. I would like to emphasize more on the transportation of the foods, whereby the fruits and vegetables are being transported to other countries. So we all know that when we want to transport all the fruits, we need to store it inside a place. And this place, when it is closed, the Italian gas being released inside will cause the fruits to over-mature, thus causing food wastage. So I'm proposing three ways of solving these problems. The first one is by using the zeolite catalyst, whereby this zeolite will absorb the Italian gas through the oxidation process and turn it into carbon dioxide and water. And another thing that is good about the zeolite catalyst is that it can absorb excess moisture inside the surrounding and then inhibit the growth of microorganisms. The second way is the implementation of potassium permanganate. Potassium permanganate work well with the zeolite into plastic packaging, whereby both of it will absorb the Italian gas and turn it into substances such as potassium oxide and also water. And the last method that I'm going to propose is the blocking molecules, which is 1-methyl cyclopropene, whereby it will inhibit the ethylene gas from binding onto the receptor cell and thus prevent the maturity of the food to increase. And this can reduce the food wastage. So I'm going to pass this point. I'm going to pass this presentation to Tiffany.
Okay, thank you, Izami. In my opinion, extending the shelf life of foodstuff through a range of preservation techniques is one of the most tempting solutions to the problem of food waste. Drying and freezing are one of them. Drying or dehydration is the process of removing water from a solid or liquid food by means of evaporation. The main objectives of drying include to preserve foods and increase their shelf life by reducing the water content and water activity. It is one of the oldest methods of food preservation. Water is necessary for the microbes and enzymes that can cause food rotting mechanisms to function. The activities of these microorganisms are reduced by lowering the moisture content in this manner. Different drying methods are used by the food industry to remove water from foods such as solar drying, spray drying, and microwave drying. Freezing. Foods can be preserved for later use and kept from going to waste by freezing. When frozen, a lot of fresh produce stays fresh longer and goes to waste less. Lowering the temperature until at least some of the water has crystallized into ice is the process of freezing. By creating ice from water that is below freezing, freezing slows down physiochemical and biochemical reactions, preventing the growth of harmful and deteriorating bacteria in food. It reduces water activity and the amount of liquid water in the food products. Um, Amira, in your opinion, what are the other preservation methods that can be used to extend the shelf life?
Thank you for the question, Tiffany. In my opinion, another preservation method that we can use to extend the shelf life is fermentation, which use microorganisms in this process to preserve food. Fermentation can occur naturally or be controlled. Carbohydrates are broken down by fermentation with the help of microorganisms or enzymes. And the most prevalent types of microorganisms are bacteria, yeast, and also mold. For example, in the dairy products, the foods which made from cereals and also meat products. Foods that have undergone the fermentation are more healthier and more nutrient dense and also easier to digest. One of the type of fermentation is alcoholic fermentation, which hexose, a simple sugar, is converted into alcohol and carbon dioxide by the activity of yeast. Alcohol content affects the quality of fermented items. The air is kept out of the product during this process to prevent the activity of aerobic microbes such as the acetobacter. Vianney, can you suggest another preservation method that we can use to extend the shelf life?
Thank you, Amira. In my opinion, food can also be preserved through chemical processing, which is by adding chemical preservative. Some of chemical preservative that were often used were sugar, vinegar, and salt. Other than that, benzoate, nitrates, and sulfite was also used, especially in big food manufacturing. This can prevent bacteria from causing food to spoil, prolong the product shelf life, and preserve the food's nutritional value, flavor, and healthiness. Next, the pH of food can also be controlled. Extremely low or overly high pH values will make it difficult for microorganisms to flourish. For instance, in order to delay the color shift, food manufacturers can regulate the pH level of the final product while it is still in the preparation phase using a broad variety of ingredients and additives. Amira, can you also explain the advantages of resolving the problem of food waste?
Wow, such a very interesting questions. So the advantages that we can obtain from solving food waste is the firstly we can ensure the food are safety and eliminate the prevent harm and eliminate the harmful contaminants such as the bacteria. For example, in the pasteurization of milk, eliminates the dangerous bacteria in the raw milk. So the milk will be more safe for eating. Another one is it also can extend the shelf life of foods and make it more safer for ingestion and also minimize the serious health issues since the amount of bacteria is reduced. Another one is it also can increase the economic possibilities because the wider range of foods available and some of food have improved the nutritional qualities of food. Najiha, can you explain a bit about the disadvantages that we can obtain from solving the food waste problem?
Some of the disadvantages of solving the food waste problem is it requires a significant amount of time and equipment. For instance, a season may not be sufficient to cover the expense of the equipment. Next, easy spoilage from the seeding of the preservation food product from the canning process. However, we can also discuss the effect from the food waste. So, food waste contributes to emission of methane gas that are part of the greenhouse gas. Other than that, food waste can also be waste to a landfill, such as it occupies space needed to reuse. For instance, a land for the livestock and to store for the food that has been thrown out. So I want to ask to our host, what steps can we take to raise the awareness towards the issue?
Okay. First and foremost, thank you all for sharing your ideas. I believe that there are a few ways out there to raise issue about food waste. First and foremost, the government could do so by having campaign to educate the public and also educate the younger generation uh, through education programs at schools. Also, we can do this in a more entertaining way by spreading this message through television programs or social media. So, to conclude this forum, I wanted to emphasize that as while food waste is a very big problem, we are not alone in fighting it, whether we are as a consumer or as scientists. Thus, I would like to encourage everyone to do their part in solving food waste. And thank you for watching this forum. And I'll see you next time. Goodbye.